Hey guys, have you ever wondered how to win the game much faster? Well, you've come to the right episode or video, and in today's video we will be focusing on that mainly. So without further ado, let's get started. But first, subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Tell me your feedback in the comment section below and share it with your friends. Now let's get started. Trick number 1. This one works very well for white. So, this is what happens. E4, B6, D4, Bishop C7, and now what your opponent's plan is to do this, and then once you capture, notice that there's no pawn, and once the bishop moves away, you can take here, the black bishop can take here and here. So what you do is this, and this might sound crazy, but once this happens, and we know it's not good to move the f-pawn, because first of all, you put your king in danger, and second of all, it can lose you a lot of games. But we take it, and now once the bishop swoops in, we do this, check. And now black is completely helpless. We take, no matter what he does. Now you find a fancier mate, and anyways, he will be checkmated. There are two different variants. Either you can capture with the queen, but what's the other option? Pause your videos and try to figure it out now. Well, the answer is the bishop can take it too, and either way you capture it, it's still checkmate, so I don't have a problem with you capturing anyway, but I like to capture it the fancier way. Now, let's move on to trick number 2. This is trick number 2, and this trick works if you're playing white. So you play the E4, your opponent plays E5, and you play knight F3, and then he copies you. And this is called a Petrov's defense. And what he will do is just copy you, but not for long. Once you take, and then he takes, well, now, he's not completely lost, but most people do lose against this. You move your queen here, and then since your opponent's knight is in danger, they want to move it away to a safer square, say like this or this. And the best option really here is here, and I will tell you what to do if your opponent actually plays that. But let's get ahead, and if you do this, then, well, we very well know copying doesn't work, and we actually take the queen, and now black is lost now. So yeah, let's get to the other variant. Okay, what if black does not play this? Well, then this is what black might do. Knight to here, or to D6. Yeah, D6, but now what we do is we do this. And now notice it's actually a check, because once we move here, we actually open a path, and it's check. So no matter what happens, if the bishop blocks or the queen blocks, we take with the knight depending on where the queen is, either there or either here. And then that's the second variation. Now let's look at the third variation. Now what happens if black actually does this? Well, then you do it with the pawn, and if the same thing happens, if moves back, then you do the same thing. But yeah, now if does this, then once takes happens, takes happens, takes happen, and take, and then once the block, the queen, well, you actually have to capture it because you're in a pin. Once you move away, you actually open a open route to your king. So take it, and then once the bishop takes, well, you're still up a pawn, so you should win with correct play, but you won't get that much material as you would if your opponent did that. But if your opponent is a bit experienced, he might know what to do in that position. Now on to trick number 3. Now this trick works for black. So once white does e4, e5 happens, and then once knight to f3 and knight to c6 happen, once bishop to c4 happens, here's where it gets kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it is where we can try to understand what our opponent's plan is. So, the opponent's plan is to go to g5 and then come here. And since it is guarded, the king cannot capture, and it will be a nasty fork of the queen and the rook. So, and there are many variants to this, so I'll go to them step by step. But now let's look at the most obvious variant. But if you haven't studied this and you play this way, you're in a heap of trouble once this happens, and then now you suddenly don't know what to do. This is one defense to it, but people who don't study this play it, and they actually lose after that. And then one is this, but I don't know why it's even there, because it just develops your queen, and then it blocks out this bishop. And development is key when playing a chess game. You want to develop your pieces first, castle, and then bring your big pieces out, like the rook and the queen. Now, and here is one. Now, what you do after this move is, well, stunningly, bishop to c5. You might think I'm crazy, but once the knight captures, it's not a check. But if it were to be a check, then you wouldn't actually, then it would be useless. You would just be down by a pawn, but you can easily regain that pawn back. If you can actually do this, but once you get rid of that knight that's still here. But yeah, now, white might think that I'm gonna be the winner. He's gonna be the loser. But now, you can take it, and then it's a check. The best option here is honestly that. And then after that, well, black is now losing because now he has 3 pieces in danger: the queen, the rook, and the bishop. Of course, the rook will go away because he has to defend his queen. And the bishop's not that much worth of the rook, and the rook is more powerful, so we would take. So he would most likely take it if you move your queen out of the way. But yeah, if captures, then you play the series, and no matter what if this happens, no matter what, you just play this, okay? And now once, something like this happens. Now, once this happens, now you can actually take white can take, and now once this happens, this is what can happen. This can happen, but yeah, any variant, he can do this, but this is checkmate, and this is just one of the many moves that has been tried, but I'm gonna let you calculate the other variants in your head, how to do that, how to defeat those ones. And I want you to try, and I want you to post them in the comment section down below. Now let's move on to our final trick number 4, and that will be most likely the end of the video, but keep staying tuned. This is a series. The openings you must master, and you must follow this if you want to win quickly in chess. So, why don't you consider subscribing and hitting the like button right now and commenting down below what the other variants would be. And I do want to give a shout out at the end, so you'll have to wait for that and stick around to the end. Now let's move on to our final trick. This is trick number 4, and once white starts the game with the Queen's Gambit, we play d5, c4, and now we play c6 to guard our pawn on d5. Now, he might pile up on our pawn, but we can defend it with knight f6. And then they might want to get rid of this knight, so that now, once this thing's gone, this pawn has only one defender, see, and 2 attackers. So black will do this, and it's not common to move a piece in the opening 2 times, but it does kind of make that bishop look kind of silly, so white might take it. And now you take it back with your pawn, but now once white realizes that they can't develop their knight to the happy square, they might do this to open up a new path for the bishop and then develop their knight. But this is the absolute losing move, because now that cuts down the defending of that bishop, and undefended pieces are not good to have. So we do check, and we have a double attack. And whatever white does, notice if it does this, then it can't protect it, because this pawn is blocking, and then you capture, and that is how it might end. Your opponent might resign or might keep playing on, but with correct play, you should win. You're up a bishop in the opening. Alright, that is it for today. Now, let's get on to the shout out. Do a shout out to my new website that I created. I will post the link in the description how to get there, but you can see some quotes, you can see my about, you can see videos, blog, forum, and you can actually log in and join an forum or blog about chess. And that is it for the shout out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe once again and hit and smash the like button, and I'll see you in my next episode.